I'm James Roy, and this is The Noise. Let's talk music. First up, this week in music, we have a couple of headlines. One, Lewis Capaldi reveals that he has Tourette syndrome, says it makes so much sense. Another article says that Ricky Martin has sued his nephew who accused him of sexual abuse. His nephew initially accused him and then took back the accusation and put in a restraining order. And now Ricky Martin is claiming that his nephew's just trying to commit character assassination. So that happened. And Bad Bunny, this one hits close to home as an Astros fan, had a concert in Houston. And there's some picture. I'll put up a picture of the baseball field, but it looked pretty rough after the concert. And this article kind of goes into how it's normal when stages are used on fields for that to happen. What's interesting is that the Astros are very much in the thick of the playoff race and could very well play in the World Series. They are the best in their league. And so it seems weird to schedule so many concerts at a venue that could host the biggest event in baseball, but maybe that's just me being a fan. Who knows? And last up, the Beatles have announced that they're releasing a Revolver box set that has unearthed material that's over 50 years old, and this is pretty groundbreaking. I'm pretty excited to see what they're putting out that we hadn't heard yet, because the Beatles are geniuses. I actually watched a video earlier today of Paul McCartney explaining his process of like talking to Kanye West and how Kanye took a music idea that he had, which was pretty genius, and then like boosted it and took the melody and made it something even bigger. But yeah, that's it for the music headlines and releases. So this past Friday, Keep On Smiling by Two Door Cinema Club was released, along with Youngblood's self-titled album and Snoop Dogg's release, which is Metaverse, a Metaverse NFT Drop Volume 2. Who'd have thought after all these years that Snoop Dogg would be deep in NFTs. But this next Friday, albums that haven't released that I thought were of interest, looking at Genius's release radar. Eden, in case you missed it, looks like it's going to be an interesting album by Eden's a band that I have. There are a couple songs I like by them. Santa Gold is an artist that has one really good song that I remember from back in like 2012. It was in that Honda Civic commercial. And they're releasing an album called Spirituals. And then John Legend is releasing an album, and it's just called Legend. So that's it for music this week. Let's take a look at some albums that I listened to this week. If you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, you know that I'm doing an album a day series. And so wouldn't it be fitting if I told you what my favorite album was of those 7 albums? The scores should be pretty self-explanatory. If you want to check it out, follow me on TikTok or Instagram, and you can watch through the series, and I kind of go a little more in depth on each album. But the albums that I listened to this week, starting from last Wednesday before this, today, we've got What's the Story, Morning Glory. I gave that one a 7. If This Isn't Nice, I Don't Know What Is by Still Woozy. And that one I also gave a 7. Hotel California by the Eagles. I gave that one a 5. That was a controversial ruling. That was the first time I could officially say that I lost a follower over something that I posted on the internet. So that was wild. Thank You, Happy Birthday by Cage the Elephant. Gave that one an 8. Alas, I Cannot Swim by Laura Marling. That one I gave an 8. That was an enjoyable project. Final Straw by Snow Patrol, the album they released before Chasing Cars. I gave that one a 7. And then A Night at the Opera, which is by Queen, my favorite album of the week, the most recent one I reviewed, and I gave that one a 10 out of 10. So the album of the week is A Night at the Opera by Queen. All right, now this is genre of the week. So I've gone online and I found a random genre generator, and I have generated a random genre. The genre for this week is ether pop, and I've done just the slightest bit of research to figure out what it's about, some artists that are in it, and I'm going to tell you whether or not I think I would even like the genre. So let's take a look. The genre, like I said, is ether pop. The Google description, I just Googled it, says ether pop stands for ethereal, heavenly, celestial pop music, ideal for a melancholic state of being or for a winter evening with the curtains closed and a wood-burning fire. Wow, that's oddly specific. And it says, some romantic company may also help enjoy this selection of ether pop songs. Ugh. I think that this description was good right up until the last two sentences. But I mean, I get it. I get it. As someone who's into music, you want to like set the scene and paint a visual picture. But I get it. It's just ethereal, heavenly, celestial pop music. So artists that I think of when I think of that is like Aurora. Aurora didn't come up in my search though. The artist that came up when I searched it was Emotion Heap, St. Vincent, and Halsey were the notable ones that I saw on lists that I looked up. But I know that in general, Aurora is kind of more ethereal, less ethereal pop. But she did release a very ethereal pop album recently that I thought was really good. Would I be into this genre? St. Vincent's one of my favorite artists, and Halsey is up there too. I don't really know a lot by Emotion Heap. I just know the name, and I've heard one or two songs by them. But overall, I think I'd be pretty into this genre. I'm pretty sure it already is pretty common on my playlist. I think I've heard St. Vincent called like noise pop, which is interesting. But I think she's a genius. I mean, I have no doubt that I could find my place in this genre. So yeah, I think I could listen to it. And lastly, to close out this week's installment, we have our lyric of the week. Today I'm drawing from Wish I Knew You by the Revivalists, the start of the second verse, where he says, "Truth, it's all that you need. You bury that seed. It's everything beautiful." And with that, thank you for listening. If you're into music and you're on other platforms such as Instagram or TikTok, maybe give me a follow at JamesRoy_the noise. And yeah, have a nice week and stay classy.